Let me check the Facebook group and make sure. Okay, it says we're live. Hi, everybody.
Hey everybody, how you doing today?
This is Zach from Alma. I'm so glad to have you here with us, Zach. I just want to double check and make sure that we're live, though, because it says
Okay.
we are, but you just never know with Facebook, I swear. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're live. Hi, everybody. So we're using a program called StreamYard. We cannot see your name if you post a comment, but we can see it come through our comments. So if I don't call you by name, that's why. There is a little link at the top. If you add yourself to StreamYard, it'll let us see your name with your comments. So Zach's going to do a presentation. He's going to tell you about Alma, but he's also here to answer questions. If you have that after the presentation, please let us know. We're happy to answer any questions that come up for you. Alma is a company I absolutely love. Some of you guys know I already have I have an Alma Facebook group that I send people to all the time because I think it's an excellent option for people that want to credential with insurances and have like a done for you kind of system that just really sets up the credentialing and helps you with the billing and gives you client referrals and all kinds of stuff. And Zach's going to talk more about that, but I just wanted to give a little props to Alma before we got started. I love this company. So, Zach, I'll turn it over to you and just let you take it away.
Alrighty, well, appreciate that and glad to be on the line here with everyone. Hopefully, everyone's off to a great start of their year thus far. So you should be able to see my screen. So what I want to go over with you all in this session is to give you some background on Alma, how we operate as a company, go over some of our features of service and obviously the insurance, credentialing, and billing part as well, and then take questions at the end. So just to start, Alma as a company, we've been in business actually going on 6 years now. We're headquartered in New York, and our founder and CEO, Harry Ritter, is a MD himself. We work with over 20,000 providers throughout the country. And our goal is to increase the access to both quality and affordable mental health care through our provider and member community. Now, the way that we're able to assist providers is through our pillars of support that we call them. So, the first pillar speaks to our insurance program. Then we also offer a platform of provider enablement tools as an EHR. There's also our marketing to help you grow your practice and get you new clients. And then we have a community network as well for networking and collaboration amongst the provider community. So I'm going to go over each of these pillars one by one. Feel free to pop your questions in the chat if you have any while I'm going over that, and I'll be sure to answer those at the end. But just to start with insurance, now we understand some of the common nuances and challenges that providers typically face when it relates to insurance. So, getting on the panels in itself is an uphill battle. There's a hassle with the paperwork, the claims, the low rates, not getting paid in a timely fashion. So, we've actually built our insurance program to solve for these issues. So first off, we have an expedited credentialing contract with our network partners of Aetna, Optum, and Cigna. And what that means is that the timeline that it takes you to get credentialed is significantly cut. So more often than not, providers experience getting credentialed where it can take upwards of 6 months to a year. We get you credentialed within a 45-day window. Typically, it's under a month's time, but sometimes we just want to make sure that we have enough buffer time in case anything comes up. But that credentialing timeline is significantly shorter. We also offer enhanced rates to our members that join. So in terms of the insurance reimbursements, it's going to probably put a smile on your face in terms of what those rates actually are. We also have a process as it relates to billing that is super easy. So we guarantee that you get paid within 2 weeks of submitting a successful claim through our portal. And then we also have a process where you're able to keep your documentation through our system as well. So that's the insurance program. As far as our partners are concerned, it's Aetna, Optum, and Cigna. Optum for us includes United Healthcare, United Health Choice, Oscar, and Oxford Health. Another big differentiator for us between other platforms is that we do have a nationwide credentialing contract as well. So what that means is if you're licensed in multiple states, we can actually get you credentialed there for no additional costs. Whereas other platforms, if you're licensed in multiple states, you can only work with them for one of the states that you have licensure in. So, for example, let's say someone is licensed in Texas, New York, and California. Instead of having to choose between which states that you can work in, we can actually be a resource for you for all three states simultaneously. So that is our insurance program. Not sure if we have any questions from there at this
I
point.
don't. Yeah, if you guys are watching, I see there are people here. If you're watching, let us know if you have questions throughout, and we can answer them throughout the presentation. I know that multi-state's a big question. A lot of people ask me that. If I'm licensed in 2 states, can I still work with Alma? So I'm glad you talked about that. That's definitely. And the quick credentialing. I think you guys credentialed me in like 10 days or something. I don't even remember how fast it was, but I was like, oh my God, that's crazy fast.
Yeah, our
Uh,
insurance operations team, they are very, very diligent and serious about what they do, and they want to make sure that we get everybody up and running as fast as possible. So as long as you provide us with the information that we need, we can get you set up fairly quickly.
mhm. So what questions do you guys have? Is that the presentation? Or was there any more to it after
No,
that?
no,
Or,
no,
oh, there's
definitely
more.
no.
Okay.
Yep. Um,
Okay.
so
Let's
I actually
see.
want to go into the technology portion here.
Nice. Oh,
So,
here comes a
oh, we have some
question.
questions coming through. Okay, what we got?
Let's see. Are there any plans to credential with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield in Georgia? Ooh, good question.
Yeah, great question. So currently we have a pending contract with Blue Cross Blue Shield of New York and Massachusetts. We have hopes that that will allow us to expand it into other states at some point. I don't have a specific timeline on Georgia specifically, but hopefully, as those other contracts go live, that will open the door for us for other states in the near future. But great
Yeah,
question, man. And that
that's
question
awesome.
does come up a lot, so definitely understand.
It does. Yeah, the Blue Cross Blue Shield, because that's something everybody's like, well, we want that too.
Yep,
Okay, that's great. Thank you. She
yep,
says,
absolutely.
oh, you're welcome.
So next up, I want to go into our technology with you all. So I'm just going to walk you through a brief demo to show you how that works from beginning to end, from client side to your side. And I see your question about referrals here. Actually, let's answer this first.
Okay.
Okay, so as it relates to referrals, when you get a request, you're actually going to get a notification by email. And within that, the client should provide their contact information, both phone number and email. Now, keep in mind, uh, clients do have the capability to request multiple providers. So, depending on your speed of response, there could be situations where a client may actually work with another provider. So, I would just recommend that you get in touch with someone as soon as possible. Reach out to them, give them a call, text, whatever works best for you. But the quicker the response, the higher likelihood that that client will move forward with you for the initial consultation.
Mhm.
But
That's a great
let's
suggestion. Yeah.
But yeah, let's go back to the screen here. So just walking you through the platform. So, and if you see my eyes moving
Let
around,
me
looking at
put it
this.
back up. There we go.
Okay, cool. This is walking you through from client side to your side. So once you get a request, you'll get a notification by email, as I just mentioned, and then you'll see your client request here. Now with Alma, we do not have caseload requirements. So if you want to take on 100 clients, great. 0 or 1, ultimately that's your choice. But you'll see that you'll have the opportunity to either accept or decline the client. You'll see a message from them, as you see here, what insurance that they have, and then their contact information for both their email or phone number. From that point, reach out as soon as you can. If not, and you're not interested, you can decline the request, and then we'll reroute that client to another provider. Now, once you get that request and you do decide to move forward, you can add that client to your portal, and then you can request for them to provide their insurance information or details by simply adding their information to this form. Or if you have their insurance information, you can add it for them on their behalf. Once their information is in our system, we're going to run an eligibility check for their insurance for verification purposes. Both you and the client will both be notified on where they stand. This verification typically happens within a 24-hour window, same day. Maximum amount of time would be 48 hours if it's a plan that's a little more uncommon or nuanced. From that point, once you are ready to move forward with the client, we do have features in place for you to do your initial intake and assessments. So we do have those forms here available in the platform, both the PHQ-9 and the GAT-7 form. We also have intake and consent forms and other templates that you can use to your discretion. You're not required to use our forms, but they are available to you and you can edit them to your liking as well. Once all that's in the clear and you're ready to schedule with the client, we do have a calendar feature. This calendar does sync and integrate with outside calendars as well. So you can keep everything synced in one place so you don't have to go in and out of multiple calendars. So like your Gmail calendar, maybe your simple practice calendar, your iCloud calendar. You can sync everything up here so that it's all viewable in this one particular space. In addition to that, our calendar feature does send confirmations and reminders of the appointments both by text and email. You can also create reoccurring sessions within the platform as well. And then you can edit the links that you use for the telehealth sessions. Now, within Alma in our membership, we do actually provide you with a HIPAA compliant Zoom account. You can use that for clients in Alma, outside of Alma, or even for personal use as well. Now, from there, obviously, that's where you do your magic, you do your work with the client. And then after the sessions has been completed, you are able to do your clinical documentation through us. So we have features in place for treatment plans. The Wiley treatment plan is here within our system. And then we also have a template for standard treatment plans, the default template there that you can use as well. In addition to this, we do have features for progress notes. The progress notes do allow you to use the templates for both SOAP and DAP templates, and then you can sign and lock these notes as well within the platform.
Nice.
Lastly, as it relates to recording a session here within the portal, obviously you want to make sure that you submit the claim through us. You can submit the claim through our system by just simply entering the CPT code and the diagnosis, and then you press send. Once you press send, the claim is processed, and then you're paid within 2 weeks by direct deposit. So very simple and straightforward process there. You can also see all your payouts within the system as well. So if we go to insurance payouts here, you'll see the date of payment, when it should be expected, and the client that it was for. And then you can also download these as well if you need to provide that to your accountant so you can see all your paid invoices. So that is our technology within the Alma portal.
Nice.
And I'll stop there to see if we have any questions in the chat.
Yeah, let us know if you guys have questions about that. One question I get all the time is, do I have to keep my documentation in Alma's system?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we want to operate in a space where the provider is able to do what they're most comfortable with. So we're not requiring you to do your documentation through our system. You can keep your documentation through ours. Obviously, it will make everything more streamlined because it's all in one place. But you're actually not required to do your notes in the Alma platform or your treatment plans. You can do it separate of Alma. You can log into our system to submit the claim in order for you to be notified the reimbursement rates.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I think people really like that flexibility.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, also, there are providers who obviously do work with clients for cash pay, and our system does enable you to manage that within the platform as well. You can create your invoices for clients that are paying you out of pocket. and that will be paid to you in that same format by direct deposit. Just when you use our system to process invoices for cash pay clients, it is a 2.6 credit card processing fee.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Yeah, because somebody asked the other day, and I was like, I'm not sure if it's included or if there's a fee for that. Yeah, that's great.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, so we want to keep everything in one place as streamlined as possible to make our providers and members' life as easy as it possibly can be.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love the HIPAA compliant room, so you don't have to have like a separate EHR or pay for your own like Zoom account or anything like that.
exactly.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Now, next up, I want to go into the marketing side of things.
Okay.
So we go about marketing in two ways: one through our site, and also through the different campaigns that we run.
I
Uh,
lost your share there, Zach.
oh, there it is. Okay, let me bring that back up. Okay, so this is the Alma website. So this is what it will look like from the client's perspective. So let's do an example. Let's say a client, they have insurance from Georgia, right? So if I'm a potential new client, I can search based off of different categories, as you see here on the screen: individual, couples, family, child and adolescent therapy, medication management as well. So let's say we use individual, and then you'll see the different insurances that are listed here. Now, a question that I get often is, okay, while Alma works with Aetna, Optum, and Cigna and their subsidiaries, what if I have an insurance that Alma does not contract it with? Am I able to get clients? The answer to that is yes. We can list the other insurances that you may accept independent of Alma, and there will be an opportunity for clients to still search for insurances there where you can grow your caseload as well. Now, disclaimer on that is that while we will list those other insurances to help you get clients, we're not able to do the billing or credentialing for those insurances. So you would need to do that independent of Alma. But going back to this example, let's say we use Aetna, and let's say we put in this area of Georgia. From that point, you'll see providers show up, but you can also add additional search prompts as well. So if you wanted to work with a client or a provider from as a client based off of identity, there are options for gender, race and ethnicity, faith, sexuality, provider specialty, availability in terms of a time of day of the week, language, therapeutic approach, which we've added several new categories to make sure that it is inclusive as possible. And then there's also uh, degree type and ages served. So if we
Nice.
scroll back up here, let's say we use this provider, for example, you're able to supply us with a photo of your choice. Your specialties will be listed, and then a client can actually book a consult with you directly, as you see here. Now, you're not required to put your availability up for direct consult booking, but I would recommend it, especially if you want to grow your caseload up, because that's an opportunity for clients to just book you directly for those consultations. In addition to that, if you're licensed in multiple states, we'll list both on your platform or on the platform so clients can search for you. If you're licensed in this example for both North Carolina and Georgia, you'll show up for both states. So
Nice.
that is our site and how it works. Any questions on that before we continue?
Yeah, somebody asked, do you have to use your platform for telehealth? So I think they're asking the Zoom room that you give. Do they have to use that, or how does that work?
So you're not required to use the HIPAA compliant Zoom account that's included in our membership. You're more than welcome to use other telehealth platforms or video streaming platforms to work with your clients. That's ultimately to your discretion.
Nice. Yeah. And I'm just going to drop a link. I'll drop it at the end too, but this is the link actually to connect to Alma if you want to go meet with them, talk to them more about this, and see if it's the right fit for you.
Now, going back into the marketing piece, we have an entire marketing department and team. So we run ads and campaigns through Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram as well. We have over 40,000 followers. We also have our partnerships with health and wellness companies, multiple employers. We work with Kim, obviously. She has her podcast, so we run that there as well. So there's really no stone left unturned as it relates to marketing. And the reason why we do all this is that we want to amplify your own personal brand in conjunction with Alma's marketing so that people know who you are, what services you provide, and how they can get in touch with you as well. Now, with that in mind, you can also feel free to market yourself independent of Alma. I know a lot of providers have their own websites that they have, and within those sites, you can list the insurances that you take through Alma. That way, if someone reaches out to you independent of our site, you can add them to your Alma account, submit the claims to us, and have us do the billing as well. So I run into that pretty often where a provider may get a request to work with insurance outside of Alma, and they want to know if they can bring that client into the Alma platform. And as long as it's under the insurance partners or contracts that we're partnered with, you are able to add them within the Alma system.
Nice. So you're saying, like, for example, if you have a Psychology Today directory listing and you want to list like Anthem, Cigna, or and you want to run it through Alma, you would just basically bring the client in and set them up as a new client.
Exactly.
If it comes from your referral or Alma's referral, it doesn't matter. You can set it up that way.
Exactly. It doesn't matter where it comes from. You can add it to your Alma account, and then all systems go from there.
Awesome. Yep. So cool. And referrals, I mean, you guys, I think you told me one time a statistic of like, what was it, 4 per clinician per month? Is that correct still? The right statistic?
Yeah. So in terms of referrals, we don't guarantee referrals, but if you think about it, we are operating in a space where we do have a subscription fee. So as a provider, obviously you're investing in your practice. And with that, we have to deliver on the client acquisition side of things to make sure that our members are happy in terms of the investment that they have. And the return on investment is there. We have over 20,000 members, and it's still growing. And providers of different license level, to your point, typically average around 4 new client requests a month, if not more, once their account is live. Those numbers are conservative. I know providers pretty often who are definitely blowing those numbers out the park, and that's pretty consistent across the board. But it does vary based off of license type, specialty, how you identify what your location is, etc. But rest assured that in terms of clients and interest, there's a pretty healthy amount coming through with those numbers. And also, with it being the new year, obviously within the mental health space, a lot of clients want to invest in their mental health. So we've experienced a pretty large boom of client interest in January so far. So if you're looking to grow your caseload, the time is now to definitely sign up with Alma so that you can have access to those clients coming through.
That's awesome. Yeah. Everybody's like, okay, it's January 1st. I need to start therapy.
Exactly.
It's a newbie.
Exactly. And perfect for providers in our member community.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's great.
Now, another aspect of Alma that I think is really helpful, especially to providers who may be new to private practice, is our community. So we have a community hub and channel. That is a channel where you are able to get client and case support. And there's also different networking opportunities as well. So just to briefly show you what that looks like here. Let me pull it up on my screen.
Okay. And I think you have to share again too.
Yeah. And let's see here. Okay.
While we're waiting, if anybody has questions, let us know. I see there's 5 or 6 people here right now.
So within our community hub, we do have this channel where providers are able to network and collaborate amongst each other. So there's channels for both client and case support, different groups that you can join. And in addition to that, we do offer CEUs for credit for no additional fee. So there's sessions each month for CEUs. It's typically around 1.5 credits per session. And those sessions do count for your license in the state that you are licensed in. Now they are live sessions, so they're not recorded where you can go back and review it for that credit, but you can RSVP those sessions as well. Outside of that, we do have town halls, and then there's also regional groups as well. So for East Coast providers, Midwest providers, and the South, West Coast providers as well, we do have those channels that we facilitate each month for providers to collaborate and network amongst each other as well. So that is the community hub, and yeah, that is Alma overall. So, do you want to take some time here to answer any additional
Yeah,
questions that we have from the group?
we can. We've got somebody, Christian just said the same thing happened to me when I had Sondermind. What happened to you, Christian?
Mhm.
Let us know. We can, maybe something we can answer or talk about. Yeah, I love that community hub feature. So the CE is 1.5 contact hours. They're
Mhm.
included in the membership price. That's not something additional
Exactly.
you're having to pay for, right?
Yep. So it's included in the membership. There's no additional cost for that. And yes, you'll have access to it as a member of Alma.
That's awesome. How often do you have those? I know I get the emails, but I'm not sure how often they.
Yeah, good question. I'll say usually 2 to 3 times a month is the
Okay,
frequency of those sessions that you can RSVP to. Sometimes it can be more sessions than that, but standard is usually 2 to 3 a month.
that's great.
Mhm.
Yeah, very cool.
Um, so I actually got some questions from Kim prior to this session that I'll just review, and maybe that'll prompt people in the
Yeah.
chat to have some questions as well. But um, speaking to the insurance side of things, or just your private practice in general, one question that Kim provided was as it relates to being an employee of Alma. So the
Mhm.
question is, my understanding is that you basically become an employee of Alma and get a 1099 at the end of the year. Are there advantages to this over tracking your own income? And is there any downside to allowing Alma to do the tax piece? So just to provide some clarification here, joining Alma, you are a 1099 contractor. We do provide the appropriate tax forms and W-9 at the end of the year. If you have established your own business entity, you are able to label it that way within a W-9 with your EIN number or your social security. So that is how it will show up at the end of the year as it relates to taxes. Whether you are individual sole proprietor, you have a single member LLC, S corp, C corp, or a partnership as well. We don't do the taxes for you. You do have to file your own taxes. So there's no downside. But as far as your income and tracking it, you are able to see all your payouts within the Alma portal. You don't have to wait until the end of the year to get that information. It is within the portal daily.
Mhm.
You submit the claim.
Yeah, that's great.
Um, Another question for credentialing and billing is that providers have their own EHR. So do they have to use our EHR, or can they use a separate one? So we went over that question earlier. You're not required to use our system, but our software and engineering team, they've taken in a lot of feedback from our provider community to streamline it and enhance it so that you can use Alma to essentially be a one-stop shop for your progress notes, treatment plans, being able to do the billing, us doing the verification for insurance. The client also pays the copay deductible to us so they can add their credit cards on file for auto pay, and then the calendar feature as well. So we want to make it as simple for you as possible, but we do understand that sometimes providers may have their own systems in place, and you're more than welcome to operate in that space as well.
Yeah, because this is always something that comes up. It's like, do I keep my notes over here? Like, how do I keep track of all this? So I think, if you've got clients going through Alma, it's almost easier just to do the one-stop shop, instead of having, because I found, having to transfer back and forth, like keep track of a client over here with their notes, and then when
Yep.
payments through, and then you have to figure out how to reconcile, like, do I just make them a self-pay in my EHR? Like, how do I manage that and make it, look like they're paying for services? And it can get kind of messy too. So I know
Yep.
this is a question that comes up a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally
Yeah.
understand.
Mhm.
Another question is, can I stay private pay in my own private practice if I join Alma? So with that in mind, joining Alma, obviously a lot of providers are already in private practice. Maybe they're not currently accepting insurance. So with that in mind, joining Alma, you don't necessarily have to accept insurance across the board because you already have your own private practice or separate location established independent of Alma. So for your own personal website, you don't have to promote that you are accepting insurance. Obviously, it could be beneficial or helpful to both you and your client, but it's not a requirement. You can just simply accept insurance through Alma, and for the clients that come through the Alma website and portal in terms of requests.
Yeah. And I get this all the time in my private consultations with people. They're like, yeah, I don't know if I want to take insurance, but if I do that, then how am I going to be private pay? Because I'm going to have to accept every insurance that comes through the door. And I'm like, Alma, it's a perfect solution, really, because they get credentialed under your tax ID, basically, which a lot of people don't realize that that's how it works. They get credentialed that way. So they're not credentialed under their own business tax ID.
Exactly. So as it
Yeah.
relates to the credentialing, we get you set up through your own individual MPI one, your license number. You do need to have professional liability insurance, 1 to 3 million in coverage. And then we'll request your CAQH details, and then we do all the heavy lifting from there as it relates to the credentialing. And then you're submitting claims under our tax ID, which is how you get access to the rates that we have.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah. Which are better rates. I mean, everybody kind of knows this. When you're with a group, groups can negotiate higher rates with the insurance companies. It's just kind of the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that advantage as well. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Any questions from anyone in the chat? Don't be shy.
Yeah, come on. We've got Zach here with us. Let us know. I, of course, can come back and answer questions too. If anybody's watching this later on the replay, don't hesitate to ask. I'm happy to help too. And that link I shared, that's just like a free consult with them. You're not signing up for anything. It's just to talk to somebody and ask questions about your specific situation. Especially the multi-state thing. I know that's a huge thing for people. It's like, how can I work in both states? And Alma's the only one I think I know that actually does this. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a pretty large team in place, so we work all different time zones all throughout the day and night. So if you're looking to get some more information or you want to ask questions in a more so one-on-one setting, myself and all my colleagues are available to you. So feel free to use the link, book a time with us, and then we'll go over the presentation that we have live and answer any questions that you may have specific to your private practice or specific to Alma as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I know people ask all the time. I don't think so. I mean, I think, yeah, you talked about it's a membership, all the benefits. Yeah, I think that covers everything. The CEs, which I think are super worth it. So you don't have to go pay for CEs somewhere else. What else? I think that's it. It's a great company. It's a great solution. Especially, I love that you can be private pay and take insurance at the same time, because that's such a dilemma for people. So I think that's a really cool way to use this system.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Oh, I remember. What states are you in? I think are there some new, are we talking about that already? There's new states, or maybe you could just tell everybody, in case they know, because I get that question a lot. I want to work with Alma, but they're not in my state yet. So maybe you could just, if there's a graphic or something. Okay.
Yeah. Let me actually bring up the map here. So I'm not just blurting out.
Yeah. Random state, 50 states.
Exactly. Although I'm pretty good in geography, but I might mess.
That's awesome.
But yes, nevertheless, so we have 27 current states that are considered primary. So the primary states are in green, and then we have states that are considered secondary support. Now, what does that mean? Primary versus secondary. So what that means is that if you have a license in one of these green states, we can work with you in those states full throttle as it relates to Alma and what we do. Now, with having a license in a green state, like let's say Arizona, if you also have a license in a state that's in white, let's say Oklahoma, that actually opens up that state for Alma to be able to work with you as well. So we
Nice.
will be able to get you credentialed in Oklahoma to be able to accept insurance. You will be able to submit claims for clients that you see for both in person and telehealth. And then there will be rates for reimbursement, and then we'll also list that state on your Alma profile as well. Now, one point of clarification for secondary support, excuse me, the reason that they are labeled secondary is that we're not currently doing marketing campaigns or ads in those particular states. So
Oh, let's
don't
see.
necessarily expect a high volume of client requests coming for you from a state like Oklahoma. Not to continue to say Oklahoma, but no problem, Oklahoma. Would love everybody out there. But we'll still list it on your profile. So there is an opportunity where organically a client could reach out if they have insurance in that state, and you'll be listed as an option to be able to work with them for that particular state. Now, if you are um, exclusively licensed in a state, like let's say Louisiana, then unfortunately at this time we would not be able to work with you in that state exclusively. You would have to acquire a license in one of our primary states. We do have some new states that are on the horizon that'll be moving over to primary support later this year. I can't. I can't exclusively. I can't say what those states
Okay.
are at the moment, but do expect an announcement here over the next couple of months where those states will be. But just to give you a hint, there are some states in the Midwest, some states, in the Northeast as well. That's
Somewhere in those white areas.
exactly. Yep.
Awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that too, because that is the only downside is some people can't work with you guys. Is that's the only thing I found. It's
Yep.
just with these
Eventually,
states.
I can. I'll say that I can guarantee that we will have this entire map be green here
Awesome.
pretty soon. So we're working on it. We want to be able to provide care and support to clients and providers through all 50 states. And yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. Actually, when I started at Alma, I've been with the company for about 4 years now. We were only in New York and New Jersey, and I think maybe Connecticut at
Wow.
the time. That was in June of 2020, and now we're in January 2024, and we had under 1,000 members. Now we have close to 25,000, and now
Wow.
states are covered. So we've had a considerable amount of growth in a pretty short period. I'm really proud and excited of what we've been able to do so far, and looking forward to what we're going to be able to accomplish on New Horizons this year and going forward as well.
Yeah. Amazing. I'm excited too to see where you guys go and all the new stuff you offer because you're constantly adding new things to the hub. I noticed that like community events and
Yeah.
training materials, like just around like even basic like insurance training, like what is a 90837, just
Yep.
guidance around that and like medical necessity and how to document for the insurance companies, like all of that stuff is available inside the community
Mhm.
hub with the training. So I think that's super helpful too.
Yeah, we're always looking to get better. We take in a lot of feedback from our members, so all of our members are really important to us. That's how we're able to grow and develop as a company. We wouldn't be here without you. So we want to make sure that what we do going forward is going to reflect that. So we're constantly adding new features, new options. Sometimes I get on the platform and there's a new feature that pops up. I'm like, oh wow, look at this. So
Wow, who knew?
exactly. So yeah, that's our motto. We are provider first, and we want to make sure that you're in a good place so that you can provide great care across the country to clients.
Mhm. Nice. So we'll do one more call. Is there any call for questions, thoughts? I know I see some of you guys here. Let us know. Like I said, if you're watching this on the replay, anything we didn't cover, feel free to post it. I'll answer it, or I'll reach out to Zach and get his answer for it. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Zach. I really appreciate you coming in today and talking to everybody. And I dropped a link here if you guys want to go get a free call with them. They'll talk to you and, just answer all your questions, because I know everybody's practice is specific. There's like definitely specific questions that you might have that we can't necessarily answer right here. But somebody says thank you. I can't see your name, but you're welcome.
Yeah.
I hope you found this helpful. I know every day somebody posts in this group about Alma and wants to know more about it. So I'm going to just pin this to the top so you guys have it to refer back to all the time. And thanks. Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you as well. Glad to be able to do this with you, and appreciate everyone that joined here today with the questions that you had. And feel free to reach out to us. We're super interested to talk to you, give you more information about Alma, and help us to help you to grow your private practice. So we'll be here to support, and hopefully we'll hear back from you pretty soon.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, everybody. We'll see you later. Let us know if you have questions later, too. Okay, let me end the stream. Let's see how this works. and stream.